Virginia. Mr. McKinley.
You would add that. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and welcome back, Ms. McCarthy. That last question perhaps needed a little bit more, but if we have time, we'll get back to that. But it's interesting that you said all of the above.
Yes.
And you said, I think earlier in your testimony about the for sequestration with coal, they can go ahead with sequestration. But I thought, maybe I didn't hear correctly. Did you say there is an existing facility now with sequestration? You said it's going on today.
There are facilities that are large-scale applications
Can you
of
share
carbon
with
capture
that?
and
We don't have any.
sequestration.
I have no listing of those commercial. Could you send that to our office or someone to release that?
I most certainly will.
If you would, thank you. But let's go back to the sequestration again, because in your testimony, you're saying you believe we should be pursuing the sequestration as a route to continue to use fossil fuels, coal particularly.
I think the administration,
but yet
through
the
DOE
just cut the NETL's laboratory by 41%. So that's where the research and development for coal. That's where we have the plans for carbon capture and sequestration, which didn't get funded at all under this. So can you share? Do you agree with the DOE's idea to slash funding for coal research?
I am aware that there's been significant funding to
my question was, do you agree with it?
I am not aware of DOE's current plan.
You weren't aware that they cut it 41%?
NETL.
I'm astounded with that, because I think the idea of using it is fine, but then to cut the research for it shows it's disingenuous on the part of this administration to have it, but try to have it both ways. Let me go to the economic models, because in your testimony on page 2 of 10, you use a lot of statistics. You talk about the model year 2016, the cars will cost maybe only $950, but we have heard from testimony from the EPA time and time again that it just, I really have to question your economic model. If you look at, if we could have up on the chart, first one, you were predicting, or the EPA was predicting that the grid reliability was only going to be 4 gigawatts, and everyone else was showing that they were in the 50 to 60 to 70 gigawatts of potential loss. We already have one company, First Energy alone, cut 4 gigawatts out of the system. So there's your model. There's what you're saying, and I've got to question it. Let me go to the second one, having to do with heavy-duty trucks. In this chart, this is from 2004 to 2010. The compliance, you can see it in different years. That it talks about in these charts. This one in particular says in 2004, the EPA was predicting that the cost of compliance was only going to be $900 and some dollars, or less than $1,000, but in reality, it was over $4,000. And in 2007, you were predicting it might be $4,000, but in reality, it was closer to $8,000. And in just 2 years ago, you all were predicting it was going to be just over $3,000, but the cost was $9,000. Could I see the next chart? Here's another one in 2010. This talks about your estimate was $3,400. But look down the list of all of these from Freightliner, International, Kenworth, Mack, Peterbilt, Volvo, Western Star are all in the $9,000 range, 3 times the amount that you all were predicting. I really question your ability to estimate, and because we rely on those estimates when the people on the other side of the aisle, we're trying to work together on this, and if your numbers are good, we want to work with them. But I come from the construction industry. When we give an estimate, we live with it. Are you ready to live with it? If your estimates are wrong, are you going to reimburse the consumers for the costs that you have incurred because you have convinced Congress to adopt these heavy regulations because they're only going to cost $3,000, but in the real world it costs $9,000. Are you going to reimburse the consumers?
I believe that over the course of the last 40 years that EPA has done some of the best economic modeling available to any agency.
So you're disagreeing with all your...
I do not have any idea what those charts were, who they developed them, or on what basis. Those were not charts developed by the EPA. So if that information is available, we're happy to take a look at it and to provide you some input as to whether or not we believe it's accurate.
That's fair. I mean, I've got your numbers. You just projected your numbers at
studies.
$900, and we can see it's going to, and you're predicting that it's going to be $900 4 years from now.
And the only other thing I would like to clarify is that the retirement slide that you put up is we took great pains in the mercury and air toxic standard to do that, understanding the impacts associated with the utility industry. We knew that there were more than those retirements, strictly as a matter of business decisions related to the market. What you are seeing closing are inefficient, old coal-fired power plants that cannot compete moving forward. I do not believe
The gentleman's time has expired.
To the mercury and air
I'm sorry, my time's
standard.
elapsed, but everyone else had the same information, and they used more accurate. They came to a better conclusion than you did. Thank you.
Gentleman's time has expired. Gentleman from Kansas is recognized for 5 minutes. Mr. Pompeo.